Harry Kane is gone. Harry Kane is bouncing, he's cutting, he is out of Tottenham for good. And it's about time, because he is an elite level player playing for a fairly average club. And he is not making a secret of it anymore. There was a moment in that last game that he had at White Hart Lane where the camera picked him up and he basically says, "What's the point?" That is the moment that you realise he is so dejected, so tired and so bored of playing with mediocrity, being managed by mediocrity and being overseen by the greed and mediocrity of Daniel Levy. Due to his brilliance, 3 of the Premier League's biggest beasts have already contacted Harry Kane's agent. He's going to be moving. There is talk of him potentially going to PSG, but I can't see it, to be honest. And I think that the precipice of disaster upon which Real Madrid and Barcelona currently sit, it doesn't feel like a natural fit for me there either. So Harry Kane will be playing for one of 3 clubs next season. As a result, I've enlisted 2 familiar faces to help me work out where he will go. And I mean, you're going to know them, but as a result of this being my channel and my video, I'm going to start and I'm going to do my best to make an incredibly strong, passionate and zealous claim as to why Harry Kane should cross London from north to west. Hopefully we see him in Chelsea blue next season. Chelsea need Harry Kane. Chelsea have failed to score in 8 of Thomas Tuchel's 27 games in charge. And do you know why? Do you know the reason why Chelsea have failed to score in those games? Because we do not have an elite striker. Kai Havertz as a false 9, very good player, is going to come good. Timo Werner leading the line is a recipe for disaster. We have got away with it this season. We have lucked out because other people have elevated their game. But we cannot go into a new season where we will be hoping to win the Premier League with Timo Werner leading the line. And as a result, Harry Kane is the option. A proven top-level goal scorer is what we need. Harry Kane has a minimum of 4 years, probably closer to 6 by the way he plays, at the top level. That is a bargain. Regardless of what he costs, it puts Chelsea immediately in the conversation to winning the Premier League. It feels like a bit of a double-edged sword as well, because not only do you get everything that comes from Harry Kane, but you kind of level the playing field a bit because you stop him going to either City or United. Harry Kane at City feels like it almost writes off the league for me. I think he scores 40 goals in that team. If you look at what he has done to Son, the way that he has made Heung-min Son one of the best players in the Premier League for a period of time, he's done that because he is the only player who even has the ability to link up with Harry Kane. If you put Harry Kane in a team full of players who are better than Heung-min Son, he will not only bring more out of himself, as I said, 40 goals, but he will elevate the performances of everyone around him. Can you imagine quite what a player Bernardo Silva becomes with Harry Kane around him? Can you imagine quite what a player Kevin De Bruyne becomes with Harry Kane around him? Can you imagine what happens to the form of Riyad Mahrez when Harry Kane is linking up with him? Harry Kane is diverting the attention of defenders away from Mahrez onto himself in order to create space. Doing the same to De Bruyne, doing the same to Raheem Sterling, and doing the same to Bernardo Silva. Gundogan scores 20 with Harry Kane in that team. And therefore Chelsea need to think and be shrewd and smart and stop that signing. The way that Chelsea's squad currently sits, it's awkward at the moment for Chelsea to sign Kane. So I think that we will have to see a bit of a revolving door. I think some will have to leave because if we were to play the system that we've played this year, Kane takes the central spot, which then leaves only 2 positions available for 5. And that doesn't fit. That's not good for squad happiness, squad togetherness, and squad enthusiasm. So I feel like somebody will have to leave in order to make this happen, because we will have only 2 spots available for Werner, Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, Ziyech. So it doesn't quite fit. However, Harry Kane is a brilliant enough player for us to amend our system. But that's why this new system could come into play, and it's very exciting, brilliant for our squad, and Harry Kane is essential to make it work. If you think about what Thomas Tuchel did at PSG, he had kind of 4 and then went 4-2-2-2. I think that that could work, and effectively Harry Kane becomes the Edinson Cavani. Give it to Eddie Cavani, as the Manchester United fans like to say. So you go 4-2-2-2, and I think that allows potentially Werner to make full use of his speed and run behind, create space, maybe score the odd goal. Di Maria and Neymar, Cavani and Mbappe, 2-2. I think Chelsea could replicate that system to devastating effect in the Premier League. And I think it's a risk worth taking. Of course, you're not playing the five at the back. You're not quite as secure. You haven't necessarily got as much protection in front of Mendy as you would want. But fortune favours the brave. And if Chelsea are to have a chance of winning the Premier League next season against an incredible Manchester City team, we need to go for it. We need to not draw games. We need to win. And being ambitious is what we will have to do. And I think that if you think about the squad that we have, it could work really well in that 2-2, which effectively becomes a 4. You're looking at Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, Ziyech. It works for me. And I think that level, it's a gamble, but that level of ambition could be what we need. The fluidity that has lacked this season could come with so many attacking-minded players on the pitch. Tuchel likes a high press and he likes the strikers to start the defence, win the ball back from the front, that sort of attitude. I know he likes to do that. And I know that Harry Kane may not be the best at that, but he's a phenomenal striker. One of the best in the world. A player who Chelsea would be so lucky to have. A guarantee of goals, suited to the Premier League, and desperate for trophies. So what we can guarantee him is silverware. What he can guarantee us is a ruthless streak in front of goal. So Harry, make it happen, my friend. That's probably enough from me. Hope I've made a strong case. Who should we see now? Should we go and see what Boovie has to say? This is Boovie on why Harry Kane should sign for City, and does he think it will happen?
Yes, Rory, what we're saying, Man City, can we sign Harry Kane? Firstly, from a fan's perspective, Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world. On his day, he might even be the best striker in the world. His range of finishing, his ability to drop deep, which is something relatively new, added to his game, I believe, and his all-round leadership, any club in the world would have him. And as a City fan, I know Aguero's leaving. I do worry about the long-term sort of plan of playing in Champions League semi-finals or FA Cup finals or Premier League title run-ins without a striker. Is going to get tougher and tougher as sides figure you out. You can't keep relying on Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Mahrez to chip in enough goals to win you titles, in my opinion, despite the fact that that's worked incredibly well. And I think for the Champions League final, that's the way we should play still. But eventually you're going to need to add pace, you're going to need to add physicality, which I think we're still lacking in the City side. If you think of Aguero obviously getting older and leaving, Leroy Sané as well, who left. We're going to need someone who can take the ball, press a back line back 15, 20 yards at the back end of games and obviously score unbelievable finishes. And that's what Harry Kane's got in the locker. From a financial perspective, he'd be bottom of the list from options from my perspective. Top of the list as a fan, as the England captain to come to Man City would be an incredible thing. I'd love it. I don't know if Adam would agree for Man United. I'm sure he does. I don't even know what you'd say being a Chelsea fan, mate. But from a Man City fan's perspective, to see the captain of England come in his prime to Man City, a bit like Alan Shearer did from Blackburn to Newcastle, that would be incredible to see. Absolutely incredible to see. For 150 million quid, I don't think it should happen. Should we be selling maybe Jesus and 90 million quid for Harry Kane? It's a big ask financially, and it obviously then labels Man City as being that club that throws cash around at problems. Whereas we've got Leon Delap, a young, very promising striker coming up, Jesus, and if we could sign maybe a young striker, a young winger to come in, Ferran Torres as well, that could actually, from a PR perspective for the City board, be a little bit better to manage in terms of having a more organic approach to the future, not spending 150 million quid on a guy who's got brittle ankles. But keen to see what you guys think.
Cheers for that, Boovie. I'm desperate for this one not to happen. I really don't want Boovie to manage to get his dream here and sign Harry Kane. Should we see what Manchester United fans are thinking? The one, the only Adam McCullough.
Yes, people, what's going on? So why should Harry Kane come to Manchester United? Well, just ask Michael Carrick, Dimitar Berbatov, Teddy Sheringham came to Man United and they won the lot. And I know some of you might say, well, Mac, you've not won the league since Sir Alex Ferguson left. You've not won a serious trophy. in an awfully long time. Well, Manchester United are just on the back of their best league campaign since Sir Alex Ferguson left, the closest we've been to top spot. And that's not success, that's not what I'm saying, but it's progress. We're getting closer to the top. And Harry Kane is the, if not the, one of the best strikers in the world. Arguably the, although Robert Lewandowski will want something to say about that. And if you bring him to Manchester United and you add his goals to the likes of Rashford, Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, etc., and you have a strong transfer window, you could then become Premier League winners. You could become that team. Look at Robin van Persie and the difference he made to Manchester United. And that would be the challenge to Harry Kane. Don't go to a club where it's easy and you win the league every single season. Or, you know, you like to think you do. Come to Manchester United and make United great again. You know, make history, be a legend for a proper club. And that would be the challenge to him. And, come on, Harry Kane joining Manchester United is only going to end in one thing, and that's trophies. Realistically, I can't really see him joining Manchester United, to be totally honest with you. Daniel Levy's going to want a lot of money, and Manchester United can pay a lot of money. Manchester United can pay big wages, especially if you see David De Gea leave this summer and United save 350 grand a week on wages or whatever. We'll be able to push the boat out and offer him all sorts of wages. But I genuinely can't see it happening. If Sir Alex Ferguson was at the club, he would have been a Man United player 4 or 5 years ago. We wouldn't have messed about. We would have made him a United player and he would have been winning trophies. But right now, United are, you know, we've improved this season and we've got some areas that we really need to improve in. Now, we do need to improve in strike, but spending all of our budget or the majority of our budget when we need a right winger, and Jadon Sancho is looking like he could be our priority, when we need a holding midfielder and when we need a centre-back. If we have to sacrifice all of that for Harry Kane, then realistically, I can't see that happening. And I see him ending up at Man City or PSG or Real Madrid or something. But if I was Harry Kane, I would want to join Man United because of who they are, because of what I could make them become, and because of the fact you could become a legend at a place like Man United, go down amongst some of the greats, modern greats like Wayne Rooney, Ruud van Nistelrooy, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, Roy Keane, all those kind of Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. Cement your name alongside those guys, George Best, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law. That would be the challenge for him. And he's got his best years ahead of him. And he could still get the Premier League record. Realistically, though, don't see it happening. Anyway, subscribe to Adam McCullough TV. See you in a bit.
Now, we're talking about a Tottenham player. It's only right and fair and just that we hear from the one and only expressions. Let's hear his thoughts on the Harry Kane situation.
Or do you think he definitely leaves?
100% there's a world that he stays at Tottenham because, like, you know what I mean? We've got Daniel Levy. That's the one thing we do have. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, man's playing hardball, you know, like that. Like, he on a Reeves, fam. I'm telling you, yeah, he's not having it. Like, if Harry Kane leaves, it's going to be for 150 minimum, I'd say.
There we have it. Thank you so much to Boovy. Thank you so much to Adam McCullough for getting involved in this video. The link to their subscription is in the box below. So please make sure that you sub to both of them. They're two dear friends of mine, two incredible talents on YouTube, and two people who you should definitely be following if you aren't already. Do me one more favour. Gosh, I'm full of favours from you today, aren't I? Would you be kind enough to also subscribe to me if you haven't yet done it? And if you've really enjoyed this video, drop it a like. In a bit, y'all.